This is Ron Paul, and this is from the Blaze TV. I couldn't agree more. Listen to this opening statement.
No amount of money, not all the money in China, will save us from ourselves. Our only hope of rescuing this great country is to reopen the economy. If you print up billions of dollars and give it to people, they are unlikely to spend it until you end the quarantine. The good news, though, is that the scientific community finally has facts instead of conjecture. The models that used 3.4% mortality were fortunately very wrong. Random samples now of thousands of people have now been tested for antibodies or immunity to coronavirus. Two large randomized studies in California show similar results. The number of people who have already developed antibodies to the coronavirus is 25 to 50 times higher than the number that is being reported as infected. This is great news. This study means that the mortality rate may well be 25 to 50 times less deadly than previously thought. The virus is still dangerous, and we shouldn't ignore the risks, but we should put those risks in perspective. These randomized tests indicate that instead of a 3.4% mortality, that the rate could be as much as only 0.1% or 0.2%. We now have solid scientific evidence from randomized studies that we can manage this disease without continuing the draconian lockdown of the economy. The question before us isn't do nothing or print endless amounts of bailout cash. The debate should now include the one choice that will get our economy growing again: reopening American commerce. So today I rise in opposition to spending $500 billion more. The virus bailouts have already cost over $2 trillion. Our annual deficit this year will approach $4 trillion. We can't continue on this course. No amount of bailout dollars will stimulate an economy that is being strangled by quarantine. It is not a lack of money that plagues us, but a lack of commerce. This economic calamity only resolves when we begin to reopen the economy. Opening the economy will require Americans to rise above partisanship, to understand that deaths from infectious disease will continue, but that we cannot indefinitely quarantine. Make no mistake about it, this has been a difficult month for our country. For many of us, we have not seen a greater challenge. I'm encouraged to see how our communities have responded. In Kentucky, we have seen tremendous collaboration. People from all walks of life have come together to help each other. We have worked to identify and supply additional protective gear, masks, and gloves to protect our doctors and nurses who risk their lives on a daily basis. UPS has set up an airlift operation out of Louisville that includes a healthcare facility for FEMA. This lets FEMA make overnight deliveries from anywhere in the country. Over 3 million pounds of masks, gloves, and other equipment have been shipped through the Louisville airport by UPS. We've worked with some of our bourbon distillers to assist them in transitioning to producing hand sanitizer. We've helped repatriate Americans trapped overseas. We've also seen how our communities have banded together to support neighbors, businesses, and those in need. When protective equipment was in short supply, we discovered a way to use industrial masks, and we supported legislation that allowed us to bring 30-some-odd million masks into the medical community. When the FDA wouldn't approve COVID tests, other than the CDC's, a test that initially failed, we introduced legislation that circumvented the FDA and circumvented the red tape to get testing done quicker. Over the years, the U.S. has accumulated more than $23 trillion in debt, though, spending money that we do not have, borrowing from our kids and our grandkids' future. The gargantuan federal bailout that just passed over $2 trillion brings us closer and closer to a point of no return, a point at which the world loses confidence in the dollar, a point at which our debt becomes an existential threat to our security. The United States was already having to borrow simply to pay our promises to senior citizens.
Borrow to pay the promises to senior citizens. I'm not going to go on any further. This is live. But Rand Paul is correct that we should, Rand Paul is correct that we should not be bailing anything out. We shouldn't be spending any more money. He's in opposition to this. We need to get back to work, not spend money. We make money and then spend it wisely. We don't just spend money and spend it foolishly and support a social system. Anyhow, I'm going to end it here. The idea that this is a cold virus, cold or flu virus, doesn't make much difference, and that it has been overpushed in numbers, and that its deadliness is not anything near. It could be 0.1% or 0.2%. It is far below what they projected, and we should be getting back to work. We've never before shut a country down over a cold or flu virus. This is stupid. Beyond stupid, it's beyond abusive powers in the government of states and federal, and it is wrong because we should have been working all along, avoiding bankruptcies, foreclosures, interest rates on loans, and procedures to make getting into housing more difficult. This is going to affect the economy in building houses, in construction, in loan rates, and so many other things. We need to stop this foolishness and get back to work and get back to a normal society without the social distancing, without the masks, without these foolish political games. Never in the world's history have we shut down a world over a cold or flu virus. This is totally wrong, totally abuse of power, and total foolishness. It's too bad that some people have died, but they're going to die anyhow. Over a cold or flu, there's nothing you can do about it. You can say all you want with prevention, you can say all you want with shots, but it's not going to make much difference. Matter of fact, the flu shots have caused a lot of deaths and a lot of abuses of immune systems and caused more medical problems than it may have solved. And this has never been fully addressed to the public or through scientific evidence. It's never been fully addressed. It's been pushed underneath the carpet or the table and not fully addressed. There are bigger issues at play here. And Rand Paul is right. We should not support more federal money going to citizenry when they should be working instead of just getting a free paycheck. It's Roger Mark from Billings, Montana. Get out and help me and others to move forward. Go to tomoveup.com. That's TOMOVEUP.com. Good day.